This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. Out-of-control molasses truck causes 4-vehicle crash on Spurtree Hill. The occupants of 3 vehicles narrowly escaped a serious injury after a truck transporting molasses crashed on the accident-prone Spurtree Hill Main Road on Thursday. Police reports are that about 5 p.m., the driver of the truck lost control of the unit while traveling uphill, causing it to go backwards. The out-of-control truck collided with 3 vehicles. There were no reports of serious injuries. The Spurtree Hill Main Road links Mandeville and its environs to St. Elizabeth and points west. Heavily laden, slow-moving trucks often hinder traffic on the steep, difficult hill, and there have been a number of tragic accidents involving trucks down the years. 4-year-old student dies locked in teacher's car. Educators and the students at Desto Bennett Basic School in Rollington Town are in mourning following the death of a 4-year-old student who was left in a car on Thursday. It is alleged that a teacher carried a group of students to the school, but that child did not get out of the vehicle. Later in the day, the teacher reportedly went back to the car and discovered the unconscious child. The child was taken to the Bustamante Hospital for Children and was pronounced dead. Superintendent Tommy Lee Chambers, who commands the Kingston Eastern Police Division, confirmed the child's death to the news and said an investigation has been launched. The child was taken to school by the teacher, and it seems as if everyone got out of the car and did not remember or figured more or less that the child had gotten out of the car. My detective has taken over the investigation, she told the news. Last month, a policeman in St. Elizabeth left his 1-year-old daughter in his car, which resulted in the death of the toddler. She was reportedly left locked inside his car for 8 hours as he went to work. She was pronounced dead at the Black River Hospital. Jamaica urges Russia to cease aggression and withdraw from Ukraine. The government has said Thursday that it is deeply concerned about the escalation of violence in Ukraine and that it condemns the clear violation of the United Nations Charter, particularly the obligation to respect the sovereign rights and the territorial integrity of states. These are uncertain times. The unfolding events in Eastern Europe are of great concern for global peace and prosperity and for our timely and sustained recovery. As a small country with an open economy and an open society, we depend and indeed we support the multilateral cooperative system of nations in resolving international disputes, Prime Minister Andrew Holness said during a groundbreaking ceremony for a new police station in St. Andrew West Rural. Jamaica is consistent in its support for the universal respect and adherence to the principles of international law, the respect for the territorial integrity and the sovereignty of all nations. We therefore cannot support and in fact we condemn the invasion of Ukraine, added Holness. He said while it is the early phase of the crisis, after Russian forces attack Ukraine late Wednesday night, it is expected that the impact on Jamaica could be through global energy prices and other areas. Oil prices in particular, and possibly through some commodities, may be wheat flour prices. We are also monitoring the possible effects as a result of the imposition of international sanctions, which could impose obligations on Jamaica in terms of ensuring that the sanctions are effective, and we are monitoring that up to this point, Holness said. He said the lesson from the events in Eastern Europe is that Jamaica must be prepared to continue in the face of the latest crisis. Holness's comments came hours before the release from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, which said that Jamaica strongly condemns the military action by Russia against Ukraine. As members of the United Nations, we have all committed to saving succeeding generations from the scourge of war that has often brought untold sorrow to mankind. The ongoing incursions in Ukraine are a violation of that sacred promise, the ministry said. Jamaica strongly urges Russia to cease all acts of aggression and to withdraw from Ukrainian territory. We also call for the return to diplomatic channels to continue engagement until there is a bridge of common understanding that will lead to peace, the foreign ministry added. Jamaica shares the hope that an escalation of war and a further bloodshed can be avoided. We join other peace-loving nations in calling for a cessation of hostilities and for the immediate return to open dialogue, mutual understanding, and respect for the rights of sovereign nations. Military conflict has grave implications for us all, and we must end without further delay, the foreign ministry added. 2 killed in Discovery Bay car accident. 2 people were killed in a vehicular crash on the Discovery Bay Main Road on Thursday. They are 40-year-old laborer Kerrion Ferragon and a 42-year-old carpenter Ryan Parry, both of Belfield District, Runaway Bay in St. Anne. Reports from the Discovery Bay police are that about 8 a.m., Ferragon and Parry were traveling westerly along the roadway in a Mitsubishi Lancer motor vehicle when they allegedly overtook a line of traffic and collided with a silver Mercedes. The occupants of both the vehicles were transported to the hospital, where Ferragon and Parry were pronounced dead. The others were admitted for treatment. Investigations continue. Jamaican students take shelter. A Jamaican mother on Thursday shared that she is now worried after hearing explosions during a phone call with her 20-year-old daughter, who is studying medicine in Kyiv Medical University in Ukraine. Her anxiety was made even worse by the fact that the line went dead during the call just after 10 p.m. Jamaican time Wednesday, after 5 a.m. Ukraine time Thursday. The concerned mother told the news that her daughter and the 2 friends, all graduates of Convent of Mercy Academy, last gave her an update when they arrived at a bunker after midday Jamaica time Thursday. She hasn't heard from them since. They are currently underground at the metro. Most of the Jamaican students are underground. While they are underground, we cannot get in contact with them because there is no signal down there. They would have to go to the front of the metro to text us that they are okay and safe, she said, slowly in between deep breaths. But once they go back down into the metro, they can't get a signal, so it is a waiting game to hear back from them each time. They seem calm, and even though they seem calm, I know they are worried. They are just trying to be as safe as possible for now, added the mother, who asked not to be named. For the past hour, we don't get back any information from them. I'm just praying to God for the safe return home of my child and the rest of the other kids, the woman told the news on Thursday about noon. Up to 5 p.m., nothing had changed. She was still awaiting word from her daughter. They have been hearing explosions from early in the morning because I was on the phone with them when I heard the first set of explosions. I could hear it as loud and clear as possible. They were saying, "What is this? What is this?" Meanwhile, a Calabar High School graduate gave an update from the bunker at the metro station. Currently, I am underground in the metro station. The metro stations are the bunkers in Ukraine. There is gunfire and explosions at the moment. However, we are safe in the metro. I cannot reply to everyone's messages right now, but I am thankful for your prayers and love, he said. The news was told that many of the students have turned their phones off to preserve battery life, as they had expected to be in the bunker throughout the night. Some, however, haven't been able to get a reception or internet connection. Nicole Sr. last spoke to her 21-year-old niece, a medical student at Kharkiv International Medical University, Thursday morning. "We spoke this morning, but she has turned off her phone to preserve battery life," Sina told the news. She is currently in a bunker. She is based in Kharkiv, which is experiencing bombings. Troops rolled in this morning while she was attempting to travel to Kyiv to get a flight to Turkey, but she said a plane was shot down at the airport, so that plan was shelved. Senior said the plan was for her niece to get to a border crossing in the west to possibly get to Moldova. But unfortunately at that time, the metro was not working and all transportation was halted. The Jamaican embassy initially told them that threats of war was commonplace, while at the same time the Minister of Foreign Affairs was saying they should make plans to leave by acquiring a US or UK visa, but those countries were not issuing visas to non-nationals, she said. She has an interview with the British Embassy on March 8, so we were hoping that the peace remain until then. As a backup, she had a flight booked to Turkey for today, but that did not materialize, Sina said Thursday. On Sunday, Sergei Velinchansky, a Ukrainian journalist and a training army reservist, told the news that the best option for Jamaican students would be to go home. It is difficult to say how long it will go on, so in case if you go, it's difficult to say come back in June or come back in September. But I would say that if you have a chance to just go home for now, then probably until the next year, that might be a good idea because nobody can guarantee anything, Velinchansky said, who is also a university professor. On Thursday morning, Velinchansky said he was awoken by explosions. "This is the view from my window," the man told the news, pointing to a cloud of black smoke above an airport in the capital of City Kiev. "It looks like the airport was hit. It woke me up in the morning at 6:30, he continued. At the time, Velinchansky said he was getting ready to go on the streets. "The war has started officially. God save us," he said. In a release Thursday afternoon, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade said that the government of Jamaica continues to assist Jamaican students and their families where possible during this difficult period. The ministry noted that 15 students have left Ukraine, 26 remain in the country, and the 2 have not provided information on their location. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.